That was a lot of coffee to slurp. Hey everybody! If I look exactly like I did in the last video, that's because I just hit record again. I'm cheating, which is kind of nice because it'll let me get a day ahead. But as I mentioned in the last video, there are 2 new projects I wanted to talk to everybody about coming for you all from me in 2020. One, of course, is the Cyberpunk 2020 game, which, yeah, again, go check out ArchaeoRPG. It'll be broadcasting on that channel. I don't know if I remembered to say that in the last video. But anyway, if you're not following ArchaeoRPG and Rituals and Rolls, you should be. And so the other project I wanted to talk about, because I'm kind of excited about it, is also related to Archeo gaming in this really weird tangential way. Now, there are things in the world that I like to do, and one of those things is I actually enjoy cooking. And I enjoy cooking, I guess you would call it ethnic food, but food that is not of my Southern American roots. So, like, not because I don't like Southern cooking. I do. I mean, I was raised on it. It's delicious. I think I'm good at it. I cook my recipes like my grandmama did, and that's how we eat that food. I like fried Spam. Deal with it. But, so, on the topic of food, what I'm going to be doing next year is periodically, like I'm thinking maybe once a week, maybe shoot for that, I want to cook a meal from a video game. And I don't want to just like be like, oh, there is roast turkey legs in this game. I'm gonna get in there. I watched this really great video from, I'm gonna forget the name of it, Polyvore, I believe, where this poor man decided that he was going to cook, I think there was like 78 recipes from the new Zelda game, because apparently they just introduced a cooking function in the Zelda game. I don't play Zelda, so feel free to correct me. But apparently there's all these crazy recipes in Zelda now, and there's all these crazy variations of the recipes in the Zelda game. And so this guy decided that he was going to cook a good number of them. And so I do like the monster comment. I will leave a link to that video because it's pretty funny, actually, especially the end when he starts like crapping out. We're not gonna do it the way he did it because A, it is very clear that man does not know how to cook. Props to him, but boy, if I'm impressed he boiled water. So we're not gonna do it like he did it. And the other thing that I didn't like was, especially there at the end, I don't feel that they did enough research into the recipes that they were making so that they couldn't give an authentic attempt at creating the food. Like, for example, there's one of the recipes he's supposed to make is egg custard, and part of it is guy can't cook. He's funny as hell, but man can't cook, clearly. And he also didn't know what egg custard was, and so he just scrambled some eggs with sugar and milk. So he basically just made sweet scrambled eggs, and just judging by the reaction that the other guy had when he tasted him, I'm guessing he put way too much sugar in it. So we're not gonna do that. What we're gonna do is we are going to treat the game recipes as we would treat any kind of ethnic cuisine when we are studying it archaeologically or anthropologically, which means we're going to look at the ingredients, try to recreate the recipe, and recreate the way that the recipe would have been cooked in its traditional environment as much as humanly possible. Which should be pretty fun for me because some of the games that I have suggested as my starting points are World of Warcraft and Elder Scrolls. And the reason why that should be pretty fun for me is because I have always wanted to experiment with outdoor cooking and have never really done it, which is weird considering how much reenactment I have done in the past. I've never cooked outdoors. Never even boiled water over an open flame. It's Very strange to me. So this is a skill I have been wanting to pick up in general. And so what I'm going to do is, again, treat these recipes as I would treat anything else archaeologically. Take it apart, examine it, see what it means, what these different food sources would have meant to a game system. There is and I'll try to put a link to it in the show notes to my Patreon. There is a post, there we go, that has a poll. There's a post with a poll, and it has the 4 games that I chose to recreate game food from first. One of them, of course, World of Warcraft. The other one is Elder Scrolls. The third is Sims 1 through 4. So first Sims through the 4th Sims. And I believe the 4th one is Game of Thrones. Now, one of the reasons I picked these, I mean, none of this is super deep. The reason I picked those 4 is because Sims are very modern recipes, so those will be pretty easy to find a similarity to. I can probably look up the majority of the recipes on the internet and find 15 variations thereof, because most of the recipes are normal everyday food, like grilled cheese. The other reason I picked the other 3 is because those 3 have both official and unofficial cookbooks that have been published that cover the different recipes that you encounter throughout the game. Some of them do have game-inspired recipes. I don't think we're going to be doing game-inspired recipes. We're only going to be doing recipes that are authentically from the games themselves. So that will require me to do a little bit of research to do, make sure that I'm making a recipe from the game, which also another reason that I wanted to do those 3 games is because all 3 of them have very robust wikis that will make my life a hell of a lot easier when researching food for the game. Because then I can just Google it and life is good. The other thing I wanted to try to do is... So currently in the poll, it's been running for a couple days. Currently in the polls, Elder Scrolls is winning. And one of the most infamous recipes in Elder Scrolls is the Kwarma eggs. And I'm sure I'm saying Kwarma wrong, but the Kwarma eggs are supposed to be particularly disgusting. But they're a delicacy. So... And Elder Scrolls will be fun because Elder Scroll itself is not a culture, it is a game of cultures, and so is World of Warcraft and Game of Thrones. I'm just more familiar with Elder Scrolls because I actually play that one pretty regularly, and more regularly next year. I don't have as much to do, thank God. Anyway, obviously, Kwarma eggs do not exist. Neither do most of the bug creatures. I tell you what, those creatures in that game give me nightmares. Like, those fleas that you ride, and there's like a tick hound, I don't care if they're supposed to be nice, no. Ticks are evil bad, always will be evil bad. Anyway, I'm thinking of Nyx hounds, but still, my point being, you can collect meat from the creatures throughout the game, and you can cook said meat. I think a lot of the recipes, it doesn't really matter if you're using something specific. Like, not a lot of them are going to call for specifically Nyx hound meat. So that'll save us some trouble there. We can just be like, okay, meat. I need to put meat into this recipe. But things like Kwarma eggs are going to require Kwarma eggs. Again, those don't exist. So what'll be interesting to me is finding a one-to-one substitution in the real world to substitute for the food thing in the game world. I think that'll be a lot of fun because it will encourage me to expand my palette and to use ingredients from other places than just North America. I'm hoping. I could be completely wrong. And I think it would also be interesting to see if, was there a particular thing the creators were thinking of when they created the idea of the Kwarma egg? Like, is there a particular, are they thinking of the century egg? I hear a lot of people don't like those. I have had one once. It's like eating solid salt, but I was informed that I ate it incorrectly, which I also believe because I just bought it and tried to eat it like a hard-boiled egg, and I have been told that that is the wrong way to do that, which I'm kind of glad for because that was something. So that's what I'm thinking, like, is the korma, were they thinking of something specific when they discussed the korma egg? So what I'm going to do is like examine the description of the korma egg as much as I can and see if I can't find a real world comparison to it, and then I can create korma eggs in the real world. I think that'll be a lot of fun. I'm going to film myself and my lovely partner cooking these things. They're also a fairly decent chef, so between the two of us, one of us can get it figured out. We're gonna cook this food, we're gonna film ourselves cooking it, and then we will film ourselves enjoying our game meal. And I think there's gonna be some costuming involved because how can you not? Which is fine because, again, I did a lot of reenacting and 3 of the things that I picked are all medieval based, so it's not really that difficult for me to come up with a costume. And Sims, I can just wear everyday clothes because it's The Sims. Except my wardrobe's kind of weird now, so may have to go buy some jeans. Anyhow, I hope my long, rambling explanation of my second 2020 project is exciting for you as it is for me, because nothing is more exciting than archaeology and food. Food. And yeah, so if you are excited about that, be sure to check out my Patreon and also keep an eye on the YouTube channel because I'll be posting the videos first on Patreon as an early release, so you'll only be able to see them early on Patreon, and then they will release for the public on YouTube. So if you want to see stuff early, you should totally go try to support me on Patreon. I mean, even if you don't want to give me cash, go give me a follow because I kind of like just seeing the follow number go up. And I hate doing this because I always feel like I'm begging for friends. Please go like me. Anyway, like and subscribe here on YouTube. Hit the little bell thing if you want up-to-the-minute updates. I don't know why you would, but if you do, go for it. And yeah, you can follow me on Twitter. I do have a Facebook group. I don't check it very frequently. And yeah, the Instagram. I'll be Instagramming food. Oh my god, I'm gonna be Instagramming food. I'm gonna be that guy. It's gonna be great. Anyway, so this was Vlogmas for the 18th of December. Hopefully I will see you all on the 19th, assuming the world has not collapsed and I forgot to record a video. And yeah, talk to you guys then.